Alright guys, so you probably saw in the last video, I finally got my PCV installed in the Speed here. Somewhere's up there. But anyway, now that that's done, we can finally route our Damond Motorsports oil catch can, which I'm excited for. So basically, this hose here is going to go off the PCV valve and go off the bottom port on the OCC. This is going to go on the intake manifold port and run to the top port on the OCC. So it shouldn't be too difficult as long as I don't break the PCV port, because it is plastic and fragile. But I will update you guys when I get a little bit further on it. So what I'm going to be doing here is taking this hose for the catch can, and I've already got the clamp on there with a zip tie holding it open so that I can slide it up and down with ease instead of having to use pliers every time. So this is going to go on the green PCV up there. It will then, I'll show you the routing after, but it will route over to the catch can. I'll show you what routing option I use when I do. So this will go on the PCV, and then I will run the other hose with the valve on it off the intake manifold port up there, if you can see that. I'm not sure if you can or not, but it's right up there. It will run off that port and go over to the top port on the OCC. So I'll show you that when I get a little bit further. I've gotten the first catch can hose ran. As you can see, my coolant line is again in the way of the PCV valve, so you can't see it, but right behind that braided coolant line is the PCV valve. So you're going to run it off of the PCV valve. Where I ran it, it's kind of hard to explain. Above your oil filter and along the bottom of your manifold, and then out this side here, it will be mounted here. When you are putting it on your PCV, it is really tricky, so I'd recommend putting some oil on the inside of the hose and getting it on as far as you can. Also, I recommend doing this with the hose clamps. Take a zip tie and put it around the clamp so that it holds it open, and then just slide on the hose, attach it to your PCV, and then whenever you have it seated all the way on, put your clamp up about a quarter inch off the hose, and then pull off your zip tie and it will tighten on its own. So that's done now on the PCV. I'm now gonna run my manifold hose, which is gonna go way up there, and this one is gonna run similar to the other one, just underneath it, and it should come out right at the catch can. I've now routed the second hose on the intake manifold, and it comes straight down and goes right above my oil filter, if you can see there. Sorry, it's hard to get a good shot in here, there's not very much room. And then it's gonna run straight across the front like that, and it will cross over top of the PCV hose, because the intake manifold hose will go on the top of the oil catch can. So now I've gotten both hoses run, the harder one being the PCV by far. It's just harder to get to up there, and the PCV is a lot more fragile. But yeah, so let's mount the oil catch can and hook up these hoses. Alright guys, so I've got the OCC mounted now. One thing to note, if you're second gen Speed, you can either mount on this bolt here or the one I've chosen here. If you're a first gen, I believe you can use this one and possibly that one, maybe. I'm not too sure on that, but Gen 2 is these two bolts here. So I'll hook up these hoses and let you know when I'm done. There it is. Oil catch can from Damond Motorsports installed on my 2010 Mazdaspeed 3. All I have left to do is tighten down these hose clamps, but everything's on nice and secure. All the hoses run properly, I believe. But yeah, it wasn't too bad of a job. The PCV, again, that's just annoying as hell because it's hard to get to way up there. Tight space. But yeah, I'm gonna put everything back together, start her up, and see how she goes.